I'm driving on my way back, excuse me, from New York City, and I'm seeing all these constructions, right? Now I'm in New Jersey on the Jersey Turnpike, and as I was driving, I looked over to my right and I seen all these constructions of homes being built. And, I was amazed because some of these houses are beautiful. And then a thought came to my mind, like, what if these heathen, these devils, are literally building up our kingdom for us to come and reclaim? And then a thought came to me and said, nah, it's not a what if. It's actually happening. They like to say, well, if it wasn't for them, we would still be living as savages, right, in Africa. And, if it wasn't for them coming here to the Americas and bringing us out of Africa into a modernization land, right, or modernization situation, we would still be in Africa living in mud huts. But what if I was to tell y'all that we all didn't come from so-called Africa? We was already here in Turtle Island that they refer to as the Americas. We was already living here. What the Most High, I believe, have done, family, because of our disobedience, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28, right? Starting from the 15th verse. You could start before the 15th verse, but I like to start from the 15th verse all the way to the 68th verse. Because of our disobedience, worshiping other gods and following the heathen nations, He punished us. He put us under subjections of these evil ones, of these fallen angels' offspring. And He had us subdued for a time. You know what I'm saying? In other words, be still, Hebrews, be still. So He allowed these heathens, these hybrids, to come, and they literally came. Yes, they did come and modernize our civilization. They came and they built up our civilization at a cost, of course, because they deforest many, areas and shit, right? Even chasing the animals out of their habitat, enslaving the animals, putting them in zoo, right? And just causing havoc on the planet. You got pollution now all over the world because of their, construct, because of their, establishments and shit. They what they call that thing? Their factories, right? They polluting the air. They're destroying this earth. This earth is a living organism. This earth is a living organism, and they have destroyed Mother Nature. That's why they call the earth Mother Nature, because it's a living organism. This earth breathes and lives. It's almost like with us, if you have hair, like what the hair that they have lice in their hair, an invasive parasite, right, in their hair. And what they do, a lot of times they'll do things, put chemicals in their hair to purge them, to wash out the lice out of their hair. It's the same thing with Mother Earth. Mother Earth now is purging these parasites from her planet. So back to what I was saying. So I'm watching all the constructions being, carried on around the world. Not just here, even in Africa, right? Literally all over the world. They are, modernizing the world, according to them. And they're putting in resources all over Africa too, right? Even in Jamaica, it's just like, it's all like a total different utopia from what I'm used to growing up. And I'm saying to myself, these devils don't even realize that they're making all of this provision for us. This is all going to be ours when all is said and done. Sometimes I'll be driving in McLean, Virginia, right? Or some places in Virginia, and I see these big mansions, these big homes where you have these doctors and lawyers and politicians that live behind these gates, security gates, right? I've seen this big mansion. It's a home, and they have a private security guard, right? So I'm surprised. I'm going to suppose that that's probably some kind of politician. And I'm saying to myself, one day we Hebrews, the saints, we all going to own all this shit. All this shit belongs to us. They don't realize that they're literally building up our kingdom for us. You know what I mean? Our punishment is over with. It's our time now to reign. But again, as I mentioned in the last video, the so-called Great Tribulation already begun during slavery, right? The purging of the 2/3 of the Hebrew Israelite. A lot of these people never made it. Just because, you know what I'm saying? Consider yourself blessed that you're still here, because if your ancestors was involved in some of these people that actually jumped over these slave ships, according to the story, right? According to their history, his story, or if they was taken out doing slavery, you wouldn't be here to even listen to my video. So consider yourself blessed. So I'm saying to y'all, family, that all of this shit, all these skyscrapers, all these monetization that's going on in the world, around the world, it is for us. We're going to be taken out into the wilderness after the Most High, continue to purge or wipe away these parasites, right? The ones that he have to eradicate. Then the one that remains, they're going to go into servitude under us, right? We are going to be their slave master. And I suspect that we probably won't be as wicked to them, because black people, we have humility. We have a heart. It's not like these hybrids that don't have a soul and a spirit. We have a soul and a spirit. So we won't be as harsh to them. Because if you really think about it, right, notice how easy it is for us to forgive one of them than to forgive one of our own. You know what I'm saying? Because they have divided and conquered us. They have put some slaves in the house and some slaves in the field. And then we start to hate each other because of the house so-called nigga hated the field nigga because he felt like he was out, and about, while he was in the home, in the house getting raped. Because a lot of these freaks, they used to rape the slave. A lot of the so-called house niggas, they had to look a certain way. They had to have a certain gluteus maximus, right? Their ass had to be plumped. I did some research as to why they allow some slaves to be inside and some slaves to be out. Because most of the slaves that was inside were actually the slave master offspring, right? The lighter version to us, the one that looked closer to them. So they kept them indoors. And a lot of the male slave servant, they had to have a certain look towards them, because they used to do buck breaking, like have rape or have sex, right, with the male slave in front of his wife and kids to pretty much demoralize them. You know what I'm saying? Take away his manhood. That's what these fucking freakers all used to do before they killed us and eat us, because they used to eat us too. This shit is deep. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, I'm just grateful that, we all have made it thus far. We still got a long way to go. I'm suspecting after April 8th, then you're going to see a big, big change to come. Many of us that are here now probably won't even make it through this year, including myself probably, who knows, right? Because, the Most High is still purging. And let me explain something to y'all, in case y'all didn't know. Spirit is like energy. We cannot die, right? Even though you may attend a funeral and that loved one is in that casket, that box, that meat suit is in the box, there's energy. That spirit is with the Most High. The Most High take away that spirit, and he either recycle it to come back here on earth to relive, to pretty much a do-over, right? Or he takes it and he put it somewhere else in paradise. So for me, death is not final, right? Death is not final. It's almost like if you was to take your hands and put it in front of your face and blow on it, you could feel the breath, but you can't see it. So that's what the soul is, family. That's why the Most High said he took the breath of life and blew into man, and man became a living soul. Okay, so when the breath is taken away, it just means that the Most High get back his breath. Okay? And also, if you don't believe me, I can prove it to you. When a baby is born, what's the first thing they do? They slap the baby for the baby to cry. Once the baby cries and open up their mouth, that's when the soul goes into the baby. When my son was born, he was dead for 15 seconds. They had to do all kind of stimulation and to revive, to pretty much, wake him up, whatever, right? And then they start spanking him on his butt, and then he cried. And once he opened his mouth, then life came into his body. It's the same way when you die. Notice most people, when they die, how do they die? They die with their mouth open. That means the breath leaves the body. So family, death is not final. You know what I'm saying? We all have to be judged, and then based on how you live your life on this prison planet, right? Because the earth, to me, is like a school. It's a school, and you come back. You come back as a do-over. If you was wicked in the past, right, you come back to suffer. A lot of these homeless people that you see going through it, on drugs, living on the street, is because in their past life, they probably was bougie. They probably had wealth, and they didn't do right by other people. They probably were selfish with their money, so now they got to come back and beg. This is how I look at life. Earth is like a school. Life is a script. Life is like a play, I should say. It's a play, and we all got a script, right? To play. We got a role to play with a script in this play called life. That's what I meant to say. You know what I mean? So I have a friend of mine, and she, I hope she don't see this video, but she's been going through it for years, like literally just going through it. I'm not gonna go too much into details, right? And I said to her, I said, you know what I believe? I believe that at one point in your past life, you was rich, but you was a bitch. I said just like that to her. You was a bitch, and now you come back as a do-over. Now you on the bottom because in your past life, you probably had it. And she said to me, she said, I agree. She said, I do feel like I was royalty or not necessarily. She said I was royalty. Then she said, not necessarily royalty, but I was rich in my past life. And now that's why I'm coming. That's why I'm here in this life and I'm suffering. I said, yeah, I do believe it. I feel that way because she have this attribute to her, right? She have this aura about her. Like you could tell, she shouldn't be in the situation she's in. Like literally, she should be rich based on her attitude, based on her persona. But because of her deeds in her past life, now she's going through it. Now she's getting a payback. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like I said, it's like a do-over. But now she's getting punished for how she used to be in her past life. So for those of you who are actually doing good in this life that we're living in, right? This dispensation that we're in, maybe in your past life you was a decent person. That's why you're not suffering like you see others are suffering. Even some of these so-called drug addicts, right? These white people that's on meth and they on the streets and they ODing and overdosing. These are their ancestors. Because you are your ancestors. Their ancestors actually came back to go through the judgment that they thought they escaped during slavery. A lot of these people are their ancestors. A lot of these people are the slave masters that enslaved our people. And they just came back to go through the judgment. They don't know that. And a lot of these people that's going to get caught up with the judgment to come, the final judgment to come, all these fucking wicked ass people that used to kill us and hang us and burn us on log, they coming back. So you ain't going to escape judgment. Whether you think you are or not, you're not. You know what I'm saying? My son, I believe, that got killed the other day, right? 2021, when I told you about my son, my first son. That's a part of me that came back to get judged. Because I don't know how I used to be in my past life. You know what I'm saying? And through my son, me having my son, I feel the pain every day when I think about how my son was murdered. So it's almost like a part of me, which is me, came back and got judged. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna go through it. No matter what you do in life, whether it be good or bad, karma is real. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come back around to you. If you're a righteous person, you're gonna get the blessing. If you are a wicked person, you're gonna get the curse. So you can't escape judgment. All these wicked acts that we have done, right? Like with me, when my son passed, I was thinking about when I participated in abortion, taking an innocent life because I felt like I didn't want to be burdened out with no child at the time when I was out there fucking and having fun. I wasn't thinking about the consequences. So I'm good. Here you go. Here goes some money. Go get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't thinking about it. Then years later, decades later and shit, when I decide now I want a son, the Most High gave me opportunity to have a son. And guess what? He took it away from me. Because guess what? I took away a life that he had ordained or he had chose me to bring forth, but I decided I didn't want to do it. So now he's letting me realize, and that's the first thought that came to my mind, believe it or not. The first thought came to my mind, like maybe the Most High is bringing out judgment, because he does fuck with the generation. I know the Bible contradicts itself, say the son can't die for the father, or the father can't, but yeah, it's a generational curse. So it's kind of contradiction with the Bible, because on one hand he said the father shall not die for the son can't die for the father. But if someone in Israel commit a crime or somebody commit a sin, the whole tribe pay for it. So yeah, I don't know. This shit, that's why I say the Bible, man, it's kind of confusing sometimes. But yeah, family. So in closing, family, all this shit that they're doing, all this construction that they're doing, that's for us. We're going to go in the wilderness for a minute, right, while the judgment is carried out on this prison planet, while the Most High purges this prison planet. And after that, he's going to gather us up and put us in our rightful order, you're still gonna have wicked people amongst us, and that's when he's gonna purge the rebel from amongst us. Right? That's gonna go through another purging process. So you're still gonna have wicked niggas around us, still eating pork and shit, right? The Bible has said they're gonna still behind trees eating swine, and that's when the Most High gonna purge them. Matter of fact, we're gonna be the battle axe at that point, and the Torah is gonna be written upon our hearts, right? We're not gonna need some pastor to preach us and teach us. That's how you know that the Bible haven't fulfilled. These devils talking about they're in the promised land, right? That little piece of land over there in Palestine that everybody fighting over. That's a part of our inheritance. That's not gonna be solely our inheritance. Here in the Americas, this is a part of Israel. Believe it or not, we're living in motherfucking Israel. That's why everybody want to come here. Y'all don't realize. You know how much pyramids they have here? You know how much hieroglyphics they have over by the Grand Canyon and shit? The same fucking thing they talk about in Egypt or Kemet, that they got pyramids in Egypt and shit. They got that shit over here too. The whole Canaan was ours. And a lot of y'all don't even realize that the reason why they have stolen our identity and shit, because this is actually a part of our promised land, family. Yes, the Americas. This is a part of our promised land. This is why you don't see nobody trying to run back to Africa or try to go back to Africa. No, everybody want to come here because this is a fucking promised land. But the reason why these ish people, right, can't come here because they're not allowed to be here. They can venture into this motherfucker, but they can't really claim this land as theirs because this is not their land. So that little place over there, Palestine, that they want to call their land in 1948, the Balfour Declaration, where they was granted that piece of land, they could claim that all they want because our land is desecrated anyway. That shit, I don't think most I would want us to go back there anyway until he wiped these devils out, these parasites out of the land. All right, but just enjoy the ride, family, because we are royalty. Every time you walk, let me tell you something. Every time you get up in the morning and you look in the mirror as a so-called melanated people descendant of slave, not a Hamite, not an African descendant of African. I'm talking about if you're a descendant from a Nigeria, you can grow a beard. When you look in the mirror, just be proud to know that you are a chosen vessel. Right? You have came this far to regain the kingdom to come. And always hold your head up. When you walk past these devils, just know that one day these fucking hybrids are going to be serving you. Right? These big houses that you see, that you probably fantasize of living in, just know that one day it's going to be yours. All these celebrities that's living, that shit is temporary because when they die, they have nothing to gain but judgment. So let them go ahead and sell their soul for riches now or fall after the heathen and sign their soul over to the devil, which is a so-called white man. Because when they pass on, that's it. They don't have nothing. And this is why you see a lot of these motherfuckers, when you look at them, they're always miserable. They got all this wealth, all this money, notoriety, right? But they're always looking angry or sad. Look at all these celebrities. They're all tatted up. They don't look happy because they know they have gained the world, but they have lost their soul. They have lost their soul. Kanye West, that's what I'm talking about, right? Sacrificed his mother for fame and fortune. In the end, what happened? He got the shit and they took it away from him. Now he don't have a soul. All these celebrities, all these movie stars, all these basketball players, athletes, they sold their soul for that in God we trust, right? I gave my mother a dollar bill the other day and I said, Mama, do you know that the dollar bill is their God? And she was like, what? And I gave her the dollar bill. I said, turn it over. She looked at it. It says, in God we trust. And I said, flip it back over. And she saw George Washington. I said, their God is their image. That's why they have images of themselves all over the world, because they worship themselves as gods. They gave you Caesar Borgia, right? That the Pope's son, right, as God. They propped him up as a god. And a lot of y'all have him on your church, in your churches, on y'all fucking dresser like my mother. I haven't seen it lately, so maybe she threw it away. She probably woke up and realized that Jesus, blonde hair, blue eyed devil, is none other than Lucifer and shit, right? So when I showed it, I said, in God we trust. The dollar bill, that's their God. That's exactly who they worship. And if you look at a dollar bill, they have the pyramid, they have the one eye, have that little writing on the bottom and shit, because they worship themselves as God. Right? The Eye of Horus, I think that's what they have on that dollar bill as well. You know what I mean? The Son of God. They worship the sun because the sun is their mortal enemy. Literally. That's what they worship. So, again, family, in closing once again, hold your head up high. We are royalty and we got next. Shalom.